This video is about return on equity, but before we get started on that, I do want to come back up here real fast and tell you that when we look at your return on investment, obviously if you're going to be investing with assets, you want a high return. So now we're moving on to your return on equity, which is also known as the ROE. So your return on equity, and that is used to measure your profitability of your stockholders' investment. Typically, we see that the ROE, so your return on equity, is going to be greater than your ROI, so your return on investment, because of financial leveraging. So because companies leverage and use a lot of debt, they use those bank notes, they use those long-term notes and bonds, stuff like that. That's why we see more return on equity as higher than your return on investment. So to find your return on equity, we again look at our net income. And we're going to divide it by our average stockholders' equity. We already know our net income for both years from the previous videos. So now we need to go find our average stockholders' equity, and we're going to find the average stockholders' equity the same way we found our average total assets. So we're going to take our stockholders' equity in year 2, add it to year 1, and then divide by 2. When you do that, you should get 191,000. Remember that the year 1 average is just going to be what our year 1 number was because we have nothing to average it against. Go ahead and run those numbers now. And when you put those numbers down, you should find that year 2 we were at about 34% and at about 28.7%. We look at the Dow Jones again. We're going to get about 27% as your average. And this again, this is your return, so you obviously want this to be high. And that's how we find our return on equity.